How do you approach lifestyle with your patients? So maybe a new patient comes in, or a patient who's having trouble adjusting to a protocol. How do you approach that?
Yeah, so the kind of the foundational stuff is still foundational, the base of the pyramid, whether you're on hormones or not. And so we're still going to kind of dive into just what does your day to day look like? What type of work do you do? Are you married? Do you have kids? That kind of stuff. Do you have an exercise regimen? What does eating look like for you? And another big part that I dive into with these guys is, stress management, their mental health. Then I kind of start looking somewhat into like a toxin exposure somewhat, like how much alcohol do they drink a day? Do they smoke? Do they do any other drugs or anything? And then from there, we, are going to get labs and stuff, but lifestyle is still going to be 70, 75% of what we're really focusing on. And we'll use hormones to kind of bridge that gap with what is lacking. It's like some of the guys who are just train wrecks, they're drinking 6 beers a night, they're 40 pounds overweight, they have a lot of the negative lifestyle aspects. You're not healthy enough for testosterone. Now he feels a little bit better. So now he can start exercising a little bit. Now he exercises a little bit. Now he wants to fuel his body with food choices better. And now that he's exercising, he's sleeping better. And now that he's sleeping better, he has better energy throughout the day. And testosterone was really the catalyst to start that positive snowball that would have been tough to do without it. And so it's kind of that fine line of filling out the individual as a whole on, do we need to just work on lifestyle at first, or is testosterone needed to start this catalyst? And so that is typically what I'm looking at first. And if you could prescribe the best lifestyle and everything to get the most out of testosterone, first would just be eat whole food choices that are minimally processed, foods that were grown from the earth or had a pulse. They're typically more micronutrient dense or typically more satiating, not from a package. Shopping the perimeter of a grocery store is typically less processed, more fresh stuff. I don't get too into like, yes, limit your preservatives. I'm not saying everybody has to eat organic and that kind of stuff. I'm not, as long as everything's doing okay, I don't get too much in the weeds in terms of seed oils and that they're the devil and everything.